All right, guys, welcome back to the show. It's Titus. I'm here with Kevin, the man. He was been on here before when we had the his name went blank.
RCL boards? Oh, excuse me. Oh, Mr. Mark Henley.
Yeah, Mark Henley. So, anyways, we're gonna talk today about location. And me and Kevin, this is the first time we've met in person, and so it's funny because we were using this app called Marco Polo. So we've been chatting. It's kind of like a video chat type deal. It's pretty cool. Got him to download it, and so it almost felt like we already met in person. But now that we're actually here doing a little podcast, we're gonna probably go eat some lunch afterwards and stuff. But thanks, guys, for joining us today. And we've kind of been talking on the phone about this subject, and kind of wanted to go over it today and just. There's a lot of things that we like to do that we think is the reason why we kill ducks. Whether it's you're a champion duck caller or you're just you know how to read a duck's mind or whatever, or you have the best looking decoys on the market. But in all reality, it comes down to
the location, and I'm going to add pressure.
Yeah.
As a little caveat.
Yeah.
To the end of that.
So just tell us. Your thoughts on. So decoys. Do decoys matter? Can you kill mallards if you're in the right spot?
You can absolutely.
Do you need decoys? I mean that I'm kind of joking because people freak out. But if you were on the X, could you kill mallards
without them? Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the decoys?
It's you've kind of grown. Everybody's grown up with them, right? It's kind of just like part of the trade. Because you want to put something there. If you're making a calling at birds, you want them to kind of see. I don't know. It just kind of goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Can you go without it? I'm sure we could.
Yeah.
Location, absolutely.
Well, because we always think. Me and you were talking about this yesterday about how. It's for us, kind of.
Yeah.
And not necessarily just hunting with decoys, but the look of them, right?
Yeah.
Because one guy will like GHG Pros, and then the next guy likes Avian X, and then this guy, because it's what we visually like to, it's visually pleasing, like, oh, that looks like a real duck,
Exactly. If you think back when we, 80s, 90s, when we were shooting over the flambeau decoy, or any of those decoys for that matter, they were just like a flat brown with an orange beak for the just stuff you're like, if you brought it out now, you'd be like,
yeah,
that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But everything's progressed, like the camo patterns. Does it really matter? No.
Yeah.
You could shoot out there in solids or the old brown camo. It's really just staying still.
Yeah.
But they do look good.
Yeah.
But, and the decoys, they've just gotten better. So you're like used to it.
But the old stuff looks good too, though. Like we were talking, I like some of that look, that old school, just.
Well, the old school G&H, that was like the bee's knees.
Okay.
Back in the day, they were like the gold standard for look and quality.
Okay.
The G&H.
What year did you start duck hunting? Like, what actual year was it?
Well, like boots on the ground was 1986.
Okay.
That was my first day in the marsh.
Do you remember much about what, as far as, because this is what's always got me, and we're kind of bouncing around topics here, but we'll, for the most part, be location. But do you remember, I've always asked people this, but very few people seem like they've been hunting that long. Do you remember what the rules were on bag limits? And in California at that time, was it the point system still? Because you could obviously still shoot lead.
Well, it was when I was going. I'm just saying going out there with pops was 1980. I don't remember. It was still lead. I don't remember what the regulations were. I was just going out with pops, right? But I believe it was 4 when I started going. 4 ducks.
Really?
And there was split seasons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if it was because there was a time when it was actually sunrise to sunset too. For shoot times.
Okay.
Huh.
A lot of places are still like that too.
Which is, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which is kind of unheard of to me. It
That's
just sounds
torture.
so foreign.
I know. That's so torture too, because that first 30 minutes.
Well, I know. Right? Can you imagine now if it was sunrise?
Oh, we'd just be like, oh my goodness.
We'd be out of there by,
Yeah.
it'd get people off the refuge faster.
Yeah.
And everywhere.
Yeah.
Turn out some folks.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe something to consider.
Yeah.
Because
you can't shoot as early, but you can shoot later.
Yeah. But sunrise, I mean, all those birds that are in your decoys before,
right.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
But you wouldn't get those because you couldn't shoot yet.
Was it sunrise?
Because ours is 30 minutes right now before.
30 minutes before.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that.
But what you're saying, though, if it was sunset, you'd get that extra 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Where we don't now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You get the early shot or you get the late shot. What's
true.
It? I don't know.
Yeah. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. Let's dig into the location thing.
Yeah. I mean, you hear it all over. I mean, it is location. I mean, you could have a great setup, be a great caller, but if they don't want to really be there, you're going to have to work a lot harder, right? Yeah. We've all been there where a guy has been on the X or the location spot, and maybe you think, oh man, these guys don't sound that good, but the bird,
they're just dumping in there.
It doesn't matter,
and it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it must be their mojo. They have a mojo, and we didn't have one today.
Yeah. Or we got a mojo, and they, why are they coming in? Well, they want to be there.
That's where they want to go.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Stage calling doesn't matter how good it doesn't matter out there.
And I will say that my mind's changed on that, because before it was in my mind like, okay, it wasn't the location. I mean, location was always, I understood that, but at the same time, like, well, if you can call better, these guys go out there that are brand new and never blown a call. It's like, and again, I think it's more just irritant to us that, or like a new one, like not irritant, but like, okay, you need to practice at home before you come out here, which I think you should anyways. But if someone's better than me, hey, I'll stop calling. You do all the calling. You know what?
I don't think you need to stop.
Right.
Nobody, because I think there is something to be said for if you can have two callers to maybe get some good sound out there.
Yeah.
Right. It's really, to me, it's the sequence.
True.
That's what it is. The sequence rather than how you sound, because you could have a sequence and not necessarily what you think sounds like a great hen, but it's all good. You got the sequence
look at
down.
The hint, like live
and
birds,
look at
you
the
hear
hens.
them.
They're
You're
all
like,
different.
Oh man, that one sound terrible, and it was a real duck.
She's got a horse in her throat or whatever, a little horse.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't. All that stuff, like, it matters, but it all matters.
Right.
Right. So
yeah, I mean, it's not gonna hurt you. It's gonna help you, right? But like you said, that's what I try to encourage. Before I was like, oh man, practice. Don't practice in the pond. Practice at home, driving down the road. Practice all those. And if you still got a long ways to go, and you're by yourself hunting, by all means, call. But like, if you're not gonna put the effort into practicing, and I'm talking about calling, then don't save it and then do it. In the middle of the season.
Oh yeah, it's already too late.
Like, you need to spend some time doing it. But at the same time, if you're by yourself, you're a new caller, by all means, I mean, blow that duck call.
Oh yeah.
Get your decoy, do what you got to do. Because like you said, a lot of hens don't sound that good when.
Yeah, they don't sound good. It's a sequence thing to me.
Yeah.
Now, if you got the sequence, you don't necessarily sound like the best hen, whatever. The sequence, I think, is key.
Now, are you talking about sequences and when and how you're doing it?
Well,
or are you
like
talking about more of
this, getting the notes like the right way, and just like real like what you hear,
what they actually do.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget it. It was at Sac Refuge back in 96, 97. My dad and I went, and one of the blinds was by a closed zone, and we just got to, he knew what he was doing, but I was still kind of up and coming, right? And I just heard those mallards all day, and I'll just never forget just all the sounds they make, right?
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. I can hear it in your head right now.
That's all that's all I picture when I'm out there.
Yeah.
And I don't like to overcall or, I just give them the real sounds, how they would be when they're there, I guess. I just try to put myself in what I remember hearing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I. And as far as calling, shoot, when I first transitioned to a single reed, that call was with me everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would take it to work. I was calling in the truck.
Yep.
I mean, it was just watching YouTube videos. Just.
Do you have anybody specific you like to watch that?
I would just kind of.
Because here's the thing, we obviously know that stage call, and when I say stage, I'm not talking about, because there's live
duck.
Those are the good ones to listen to.
Yeah.
But because most people, and I include myself, long ago would watch the competitions. I'm like, that's not what you want to take into the
show
field,
stuff
right? It's just show.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking, if there's newer people listening right now, or wanting to learn, or maybe they've been doing it for a while and didn't realize that, look up live.
Yeah, watch live duck videos.
And if you want to practice, but don't practice I guess you could for control.
Yeah, you could.
That could help with your wind and control and breathe, but
it's still just the whole muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
Especially too, if you're going to transition from a double reed, because I started out on a double reed, right?
Double nasty for me.
But it's all like air control, especially when you get to that single, right? Because you got so much forgiveness with that double, and you feel like you got to push so much through there. When you get to that single reed, man, you're just kind of
barking.
Oh yeah, squealing, and you gotta just control.
Yeah.
Right. So it took me about a year. I mean, like total off season and through duck season, and then the next year I was like felt with it.
Yeah.
Got my single, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
But
what's the best call out there?
No bias here, but I mean, they're all good, okay, right? But we prefer that old JJ.
Yep.
I
mean, okay, so let me say something about that. I know, right? Like, how genius is that to create a little? They're pre-cut millimeters.
Yeah.
You got the plastic.
Your stopper. You got your insert. That only goes. So everything is. It's got its place. It can. So. Because it's all about consistency in that sound. Because once you find that reed length you like, or that sound, you roll it.
You don't need nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that's what's great about Crow or JJ Laird's is like he's got that die for his reeds, right?
Yeah.
For the dog ear, they're all the same. The thousands that he makes are all cut the same.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the engineering and the call, right? It can only go in. Your insert only goes to here.
Right.
The reed only goes to here. So. You get
boom, you're done.
Yeah. So if you want a different sound, you just change your reed length. And he's got a million of them. They're all like, I think.
And you're not gonna have no cork getting all swollen up and getting wet and just changing the sound.
It's all consistency.
So consistent.
You don't got to worry.
But here again, the sound of them. Like I know I've heard a ton of calls, and we've talked about this. It depends on where you're blowing it. If you're in the timber, if you're in the open marsh, yes, it's gonna change the sound. And I'm not trying to be partial. Like, put 30 calls out there for me. Use the same guy that's a great live duck caller champion, and let him blow those. I've heard those guys, and I'm telling, like me, it sounds so much like a real duck.
Yeah.
Like, is that? Are we just being like, kind of snot, like call snobs?
I know, right?
Or like,
it may sound like that over the airwaves.
Yeah. But in all reality, I mean, like, I know there's others
like the Echo Boys. Yeah. It depends. Those guys are. I mean, like RNT.
But we did say though, we were always hearing those in the timber. And that totally.
For sure, because I've never really heard anybody. You've heard some guys outside of the timber.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, like it's not even the same thing.
But those calls, they sound good. But, we've kind of got an ear probably for the JJ sound too. Because I hear guys on videos and I'm like, oh, man, that sounds like a J. And I've messaged the guys that are like, yeah. I'm like, you could just kind of tell sometimes, But there's a call out there for everybody. He's got the hybrid. He's got the timber. He's got the Magnum hen.
A5.
The A5.
Have you blown the Magnum hen?
I've one time at a shop. It was it's kosher, but it's like, well, I got the hybrid and the timber. It's wasn't anything.
What do you like better? Do you like the timber or the?
I'm kind of the timber. The timber is kind of like my go-to.
Okay, which one though? Because I should let me grab it real quick. You keep talking. Yeah. I'm gonna grab that call real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm game with the timber for some reason.
Which one, the large bore? Or the...
No, large bore.
Wait, maybe I have this.
I've never blown the small bore. But I run them both because you get a little bit, obviously, a different sound, right? But my go-to one I'm grabbing 95% of the time is the timber, because it's plenty loud in open water. It's all good. Oh, the A5. Yeah, I've never blown 1325. Well, that's a short reed, and it's not dog-eared. Dog-eared gives you more forgiveness, dude, or you get more ducky sound out of it. Yeah.
I was bummed. I could never make that sound. Thomas said it was like an instant.
I might, if you don't mind. Can I take this home?
Yes.
Okay. Sweet.
What's your plans with it?
Well, off air, I'll try blowing this with the 1.325, which I think is short.
It is short.
That's short.
That's probably why. I mean, dude, I went up the ladder and down it. I'm like, man, I just something the way I'm blowing. I just can't.
And it's not dog-eared.
Okay.
Which is.
Do you always dog-ear your calls?
Well, I get them all the reads I get from Crow or dog-eared. Yeah.
You ask for it specifically?
Well, he's got them. He makes, like, I think it might be 50-50 what he sells.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've always had the straight.
Oh, dude. That could be a game changer, dude.
I like that's my, well, I'm going to keep taking this thing off. But.
All right, folks.
That's all right.
It's going to be, I think we just found what the culprit was. I think it's dog ear.
See, this ain't dog. Oh, it is dog ear.
See? Dude, didn't even look. I just know.
Do it real quick.
Oh, well.
Hey, that's what happens when you have a professional.
But see, all his, that, like I said earlier, the JJ Layers, he's got that dye. So the dog ear's all the same, because everybody, like Echo guys, R&T, they cut them themselves.
How do you get it so accurate? Perfect.
The dye. Crow's got the dye.
Right. It's bam. It's done.
Same every time.
Yeah.
I could do 10,000. They're all the same because he's got that cast at the house.
Yeah.
At a shop.
You gonna try to get that thing tuned up?
Yeah, not on the air, but I.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's probably a bit of the reed length and the non-dog ear. I'll give it a shot. I'm not a professional, but if I can get a sound out of it, I'll be like, okay, it's ready. Maybe I'll even use it this year. The old A5. Anyhow.
Yeah. I'm still basically I'm probably gonna buy some more. I'm gonna kind of start collecting them. Like, I don't know, maybe put them on some type of shelf thing or something.
Yeah,
like the letters called.
I've seen that. Get kind of like your duck mount, your dead mount. Like get a shelf like that with some shelves and just line them up.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah. That was the first layer. I bought that. I think Thomas already had the hybrid, and I bought that just to try something different. And I thought at the store it sounded okay, and then I just never was happy with it. But man, dude, and this is I love this class. It's like beautiful.
That's the hybrid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just look at that color.
Yeah, they had like that root beery or
the beer bottle color.
Now,
those are hard to get, man.
Did you dog ear that yourself?
No, that came.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's the dog ear.
Instant change, dude.
Yeah. That's part of it.
Yeah. So kind of talked about the calling. I kind of thought of a scenario when we were talking about location where you said those guys beat you to the spot on the river and you went down. Now, what would you accredit that to? Was that end up being worth it? Because you end up doing really good.
Yeah.
You didn't get the spot you technically wanted. So are you crediting that to decoys and your calling?
No. It's the, where I shoot, there's no hardcore. There's places I like to shoot more often, right? Right. But this was a great.
It was still a good spot.
Yeah. You're in the area where they want to be, So it didn't have to necessarily be like right there because you're already where those birds kind of want to be anyway. Now, it just worked out. I've shot that spot one time before, but it's not something I would just gravitate to every time. But it worked out to be perfect,
yeah.
right? If I couldn't get this spot, I could go over here. And a lot of that too was giving the guy space. It's also space,
Yeah.
from your
Yeah.
other hunters,
Mm-hmm.
right? And where I shoot, it all kind of looks the same, right? So it's just kind of, we're still in the general
Yeah,
location and setup. I mean, if you believe, I'm kind of like a mind, body, and spirit thing about it too. Like if you believe in your spread, you put it out there, make it look lifelike,
Right.
right? You know what it looks like,
Right.
You know because when you're scouting, in the off season, you know where the birds kind of are, where they are, how they kind of sit, right? And you just keep those little snapshots, or at least that's what I kind of do, right? And so I just kind of set it up that way, how I'd see them in this location, right? And then you just kind of let it, the location work for you. Yeah, maybe you're set up how you have it, and some calling. It all plays in, but the location thing. I'm in the general location. And,
So you're still close enough to
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Have you ever been outside of that spot? I mean, what do you do when you're outside of that spot where like, man, I couldn't get that spot, that location? What's your tactic then?
Well, I'd have faith just that I'm in Ducky area, that if I can get something to come by, I got an opportunity. It may not be limits that day.
And is that because of the looks of the spread, like the spread and just kind of the area?
The area again, Thule's, right? Those ducks want to be in those Thule spots, right? So it all kind of looks the same. Just depends on maybe how these birds are flying around too. I have a couple backup plans, but I feel if I don't get my great spot or spots I like to, I'll still get ducks, right? But I'm not going out there. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to get a limit. I'll still get my birds.
Yeah.
It's not about that, but I feel pretty good about anywhere I go out there, really. And something like that did happen where I got out there for me a little late, and everything was taken. Like, it was like, oh my gosh. I just even got out of that whole area and still ended up with, I think, 5 or 6. And did well. And I was in a spot that I hadn't really shot before. I was like, well, I've always talked about getting over here. Well, I guess I'm going to have to get over here today.
Yeah.
Because it was just, I could have stayed in some of the areas where I shot, but it would just be too crowded. Like, why deal with that?
Right.
Let's just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Nobody's there.
Yeah.
And I'll, don't have to fight anybody. So.
Which is the goal that we're all trying to shoot for.
Yeah.
It's amazing how easy it'd be as if everybody was like that. Like if everybody kind of had that mentality, like, let's not crowd in on each other.
We talked about that, yeah, right? Like if I could trust that those guys were, quote unquote good hunters, then you wouldn't have to maybe worry or buffer yourself so much, right? Because they wouldn't shoot at anything high, or they wouldn't shoot at your swing birds, or
and it would so work easy if you could do that, but that's not
that's
reality.
That's perfect world. And especially these days, it seems like it's just not even, we're at the other end of the spectrum with that, where they will shoot swings, they will come in on you, and they don't care, or they don't know that it's affecting both of you now. Confusing birds,
right?
Right. They don't have a backup plan. They get out there a little later, they're like, well, they don't want to go, I'm losing, it's almost shoot time. Well, that's, not my fault.
Right.
Right. Now you're going to mess me up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go anywhere else because it's shoot time.
Yeah.
Yep. Anywho.
Yeah. So I was thinking, as far as cover and stuff goes, and again, you said you're like super anal about cover, which I think you should be. I mean, ducks are incredibly smart, and I can't tell you how many times that's messed me up because of not having the right cover or top cover or whatever. But I've been in spots where the ducks wanted to be, like literally they didn't. It's like they don't see or care.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm not making excuses to not be covered, but it's like, what in the world? Like, again, it comes back to location.
Location. Yeah, you can get away with a lot of
It's
things
unbelievable, like,
when you are where they want to be.
It's insane, yeah. And not that that makes it right. Like, I'm not trying to justify that, but it's just amazing when you're really, really, and I mean, I'm pinpointed to the spot where they want to be, that spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like, you'll be standing up, like, trying to go change a decoy, and there's come land in there, and I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
But then you feel like sometimes you can just be covered so amazing, they'll just go right by you, and you're like,
well, yeah,
dang.
exactly.
And then they'll go land over there. They'll start dumping over there. I'm like, why do you guys want that spot?
Yeah. So you can get away. You can have a little, you have some liberties, when it's where they want to be, the location. You may not have to cover, but I would still. It's just kind of in it,
right.
But, speaking on the whole cover thing, I feel like here in California, man, I mean, they're just getting hammered and it's everywhere. They're all coming from Canada for the most part, right? So they're all coming down everybody's flyway. But, they're getting hammered in Canada, Washington, Oregon, and then they run the gauntlet of the valley here.
Yeah.
Right? And, mallards too. I don't really just go after mallards, but where I shoot is mallard country. And them. They don't take pressure. They don't need to. They'll go find. There's plenty of spots for them to go. So you gotta look good.
Yeah.
You gotta be dialed.
Yeah.
Because they'll just leave. They're not like widge or teal. They just kind of hang out. Mallards will go and be exclusive. They'll just take off and you won't see them anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like these refuges. Right. Once the light comes, boom, mallards are gone.
Yep. They bounce.
So. You got to be dialed here, or I do. Too easy for them to.
Well, we know that you killed birds, a lot of birds,
and I'm not doing anything. I'm just a regular Joe. Yeah. I'm just maybe putting a lot of time and effort into the detail.
Yeah.
That's just how I grew up though, and that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Kind of a tweak.
Yeah.
That's what people.
Yeah. Hey, you get it looking good, man.
Little tweaker out there, but it produces.
Yeah. Honestly,
I can't help it.
That's a lot of ducks, dude, that you shot. I mean, last year. That's a lot. It really is a lot of ducks.
Absolutely.
Like I'm sad. Like I'm not like have this bloodlust, right?
No,
I kind of do a little bit, but yeah, you know what I mean. When you're out there hunting, of course you do. But what I mean is like I gotta hit this number. I don't care about that. But I will tell you this: I got only 138 or something last year, and I felt I was satisfied. I wasn't like in the season like, man, I did so bad this year. But it's like I can't imagine what almost 400 would feel like. Like that's a lot of ducks. That's a lot of ducks, dude.
And it's probably gonna hit me, down there. Like, man, that was a year. And I told myself,
was that your best year?
That was my best year.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
275, 315. I was 180s,
Did you hunt more or did you just do
better?
That's
what I'm thinking. I think I kept a calendar to see the day. I think I probably did, but probably not by much because I go hard every year. Right. But a lot of the places I went to, I hit every time I went. Like the 3-day trips I took was limits. So that
helps.
That helps. But I was like, well, I don't really have any goals for the year, right? To achieve,
No.
And I don't know if people do.
I like to do that with Rocky. Like, okay, I would like for him to get this many retrieves, and it's obviously based off of multiple hunters, not just me.
Yeah.
That's because it's cool. But like, I never walked in. Like this guy, this joker that was commenting on YouTube about all we care about is limits. Is like, no.
Yeah.
Actually, I never, you go to be successful. Obviously, why would you go? But it's like, I'm not like, I got to hit this number this year of birds I kill. I'm like, I never thought that way.
And limits don't mean success. I mean, it's nice, but there's so many other ways to measure success out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I don't know, like the way a bird decoys.
Feet down.
Yeah, like this sun was hitting them this way. You could see their green head, and like that's success. Like, oh my goodness, that was so epic.
Fooling them to where they're right in your face, and they don't even know.
That's
and
success.
And it's December or January.
Yeah,
and I'm still fooling these things.
Yeah,
feet down.
Yeah,
that's what gets me.
That's success.
Like, man, January, and I'm still getting them to land in my decoys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's not easy.
That's how I quantify that stuff anymore. Numbers are nice, it's nice to kill all these ducks. But I was just lucky too.
Because all those ducks you killed were memories, amazing, epic memories. So yes,
and a product of what I do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
So if I'm going to measure, it's like, yeah, I nailed it. You know, or this was a phenomenal year. It all worked. It was a lot of it, like we're talking, location. Towards the end of the year, especially that veteran hunt, I didn't even really have decoys out there. I was in a place where they wanted to be, because at that point too, they've seen decoys, and you know too, they start really pairing up, and if they don't like it, they don't really need to be there. There's no reason for them to.
Is the hen usually controlling that? It seems like the hen controls
totally.
it, right?
That's why if you got the single drakes,
it's money.
Money.
Yes, it's guaranteed.
Money.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom. And if you have a pair, and that if she's with it, you're like,
it's game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what a hen's looking. What is she wanting to see? Like, I mean, who knows? We're just guessing, right? But I mean, you kind of wonder. Like you said, when they're in a pair, how in the world are you fooling them? Because they're always super leery. You can tell.
Yeah. Well, it's location where they want to be. They want to just chill.
And they want to have food.
Yeah. Little bits of food, because I'm not shooting in any food plot areas, right?
Right.
This is all just like
random, wild.
Little invertebrate, whatever, So they probably just want to. Mallards, they just kind of like being secluded, chilling out. So maybe you just, it's just a nice little chill spot.
Because some of the spots we hunt that we kill mallards in, it's like really small holes, like the size of this right here, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told people before, we only used 2 in that hole and shot all these birds, because if you make it too tight, they will not.
Oh no!
They'll land in 3 potholes over because they want to be by themselves. When it's a drake and a hen, I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it was a drake, they're gonna come in.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Knowing your surrounding.
They don't. They like their distance, but they want to be kind of.
Yeah. Like little pair packs here. I think I've sent you some of my pictures I've taken while I'm out there.
Yeah.
Just kind of how I've seen. Like.
You're trying to just emulate what you've seen.
Little clusters here, maybe a little pair. That's all it is. That's what I do. Just try to paint that picture or repaint that picture of what I saw when I'm jumping birds out of these places.
Yeah.
And seeing all these ducks.
Yeah.
Making it real. And just location's making it easy for me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty dialed where I shoot. I kind of know what they want.
And that's taken years.
Years,
right?
yeah. Fortunately, because everybody complains out here in California, man, the mallards and but where I shoot, that's just what's out there.
And just so everybody knows, he's shooting public too. So
yeah, and I do shoot some private guys.
Right.
You've seen, I do well, but I don't really boast too much about the private, because it's like, to me, it's private.
Yeah.
We're not manufacturing any ducks, because we don't have any food. That it's just kind of, it's kind of public-esque, because there's nothing really drawing them to our spot, really, anyway. But
the majority is public of what you're doing.
Yeah,
for the most
because
part. If you take the math and over the year, it's way outweighs it, huh?
Because our club does well, but when it's sometimes I feel like you can just have better opportunity out there on public. So, but it is nice to have a little convenience.
Yeah.
If I don't want to get out there and hump it out,
Yeah.
go to the club.
Yeah.
But,
I'm trying to think of anything else on the location thing we haven't really talked about. Talked about calling, decoys, motion. I mean, how big of a deal is motion to you?
Motion.
And mixed with, do you do jerk string, or do you just do mojo, or do you just pulsate? Like, what do you do?
Jerk string, I don't really use too often. I use that a little more at the club because it's a controlled environment, right? I can set it up in the blind and have it there. I use a lot of
spasming.
Pardon me, a little back spasm. I used a lot of mojo still, and let's talk mojo real quick.
Okay.
You've heard the whole, you hear it a lot because they've been out for what, almost 25 years. They came out in the late 90s, right? Or the Robo Duck kind of thing, right? And people say they've lost their luster a bit, and I just think it's all situational and how you set it up.
Okay.
I mean, because I've been using them darn near till the last day in January, and they work, right? It's just how I set them up, and then reading the birds, if I can tell maybe they're not really digging it too much, I'll turn them off.
Yeah.
But I run those
So
things.
the remote ones.
Well,
or you just go out there and turn it off.
Yeah, I just go out there. I have them on.
Do you have the intermittent?
I go intermittent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are probably better anyways. Period.
That's the only way.
It's not realistic for a bird just to be like this, unless, like you said, you tuck it in a corner enough to they're not seeing it the whole time.
Exactly.
But even then, I'm like, man, I'm getting some. I'm gonna get it. I've been the kind of guy, me personally, with the mojo. I'm just very hit and miss with it. Like, I just like get leery about it. But then last year, and I just figured this out on my own over time. Like you're always learning, right? Is like putting it in the side pocket to where they, like you said, they don't see it all the time, and that has helped.
Yeah, right.
And then it's funny. You're like, oh, I've been doing that for a long time. I'm like, okay, I'm learning.
Yeah, you're getting it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because they almost gotta look for it.
Yes,
right.
It's almost hard for them to.
Yeah, they gotta see
catch
it.
that flash on that corner or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, to me, the mojo still works great, right? I mean, it's just I think in how you use it, right? I hide it for the most part, or try to obscure it some way to where the birds only see it from
certain angles. Okay.
Right, and they're on intermittent, so maybe they see it, but it's not going. And then all of a sudden it flashes, and they're like, "Oh, boom!"
Yeah.
That's so.
Did you see that new one MVM X coming out with?
I have.
Did you get on the pre-order?
Yeah, I should. Yeah,
no, I'm joking. I don't even think there is a pre-order.
Yeah, right.
They look pretty good though.
They look. I mean, an avian too. They're everything they do is aesthetically pleasing, and and just
hunters just eat it
and
up.
just so it looks good, and it to me it's pretty legit. Like the 2 battery systems, you could still use your old lead batteries, right? Because if you had a ton of those lead batteries, and then I think they have a lithium area too, so you can run old batteries on there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then they had that whole wing design, how it looks like it's the correct position every time it's spinning. I don't know how much that, but it looks good. I like. Am I going to get it? I don't know. I mean,
it's like $300 or something.
No, it says $199.
Oh, really?
It's not.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really bought a mojo in days. I have all the old super
mojo. Yeah,
super mojos, the ones with the metal wings.
Okay.
And that are a different shape too.
Okay.
They kind of have I don't even think they make them anymore.
Okay.
But I'm just about big flash.
Okay.
Like baby mojos, they just don't do it for me.
Okay.
You need, because I kind of grew up in that era too. When like the Blade came out, the Blade, the goalpost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like,
do you like that?
Oh, that's a game changer too.
Really?
We use that at the club.
Really?
Oh, dude, goalpost.
We got more talking to do off air.
And,
no, I was kidding.
Yeah. Well, the goalposts are nice, but they're kind of cumbersome a bit too.
Okay.
So we use them at the club because it's set
easy.
Environment. We got places for them.
Yeah.
We let so it's all like a different look, right? A different flash look.
Okay.
But I like big flash. I need to get their attention. Babies are cool because they're compact, especially refuge in it.
Yep.
Right? But you need that black, white. Yeah, so you got to get those big wings. And on some of mine, I take, if I'm redoing, I have one that has the magnetic wings with the rod, right?
Yep.
So I pull that old wing off and I get my, when people are running for office, they put those signs, the corrugated little plastic, and I just make big teardrops and paint those black and white, so I get a big flash. So I make my own wings.
And what do you do with that? You stick it on the...
Well, the magnetic wings, they have...
So you just change it
They have that rod. I pull the old...
Really?
Yeah, and then get that corrugated plastic is what they...
So how big are you talking?
I mean, gosh... Fairly big.
Really?
Yeah. I'll show
Okay.
And
do you use like 2 or 3, or does it just depend on how big your spread is?
I like to go out with at least 2.
Okay.
And there's a lot of times I do run 3
Okay.
because I'll put them in different maybe
spots.
2 together on different intermittent cycles. So one comes off, but the other one's going. Then that one comes off, and then sometimes they're running together. right? Because they're just the intermittent switches I have on them. Timers, because I made those timers myself.
Oh,
dude.
did you?
Like the whole sequence.
Okay.
So yeah, I run usually at least 2.
Okay.
Sometimes 3. So I'll put 2 in one spot and then maybe tuck a third one somewhere else.
Kind of really hard to see.
Yeah.
Or a different angle.
So they got to be coming
from that way.
from like
yeah.
the west
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
They see this
Totally.
one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me think of something last year we did that I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to get that. If they come from that way, they're never going to see it.
Yeah.
So I would have had nice to have that second or third one.
Or second, put one here, put one there. But I'm about flash, like visible, right? The babies, cool. But, we've got great perspective, right? Because you fly a helicopter, right?
I've flown over high over refuges like 2,000 feet, and I look down. I could see hunters.
Yeah.
What do you think the birds see?
Oh, exactly.
Like they know they're not coming down there.
Exactly.
If they do, it's because they're on the deck and they didn't see you from above. But if they're any height at all, there's no way they're coming down.
Yeah.
But again, I've seen the flashers,
well, you see
spinners.
from that perspective, right? Like
and
being up on towers, looking down at marshes, or hanging from a helicopter, you could see the flash.
Yeah.
From a ways away on certain things, like a bird, whatever.
Long ways.
And so I'm like, you got to get that flash. So that's why I like the big wings.
I think intermittent's key though.
And
too.
intermittent.
I think that's key.
It's different because a lot of guys. Well, and then
because that's not realistic to a constant spin. If the bird's high enough and he sees that spinning the whole time, that's not what you see when you see birds like kick up and that. It's just like the.
It's probably pressure too, right? I mean, like, look at the guys on the rice that use mojos a lot. That's who I hear a lot that they don't work anymore.
Okay.
Right? Because you got nothing to obscure it there.
Yeah.
Right.
Just wide open.
And it's just wide open. They see it forever, and it just does the same thing.
Yeah.
The blade does that, but that's a whole different look too. I mean, it works, but a lot of rice guys, they don't. I'd do better without them.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
And then especially too late, we don't
and
get the weather.
That's probably why when we're in open water, that's why it never worked for us. We just stopped using them because, like you said, it's nothing to obscure it.
Yeah, and if you're going to be in open water, I would just try to, at the very least, go intermittent.
Okay.
Change it up. So it's...
Right. I'm doing that this year.
Yeah.
I have so much... Dude, it's like, I've learned so much, got better at calling, but there's such a long ways for me to go. It's like you think of... I mean, I guess it's a lifetime.
It is.
You're never going to reach perfection, right?
Well,
like in your...
Yeah, I don't think there's a... If there is
it's a hunting.
I don't know if there is a perfection per se. It's just you've taken everything and you
dialed it.
You dial it in, but we know too, as a respectable ducker, right, that even if you do everything, it doesn't always mean you're going to have the success, and that's what a lot of people can't take. Like they got to go out there and they're circling these birds and they're not coming in. Let's go up on this pass. No, you don't have to just because they're not coming back.
Yeah. Right.
You don't need to just shoot. I mean, I'm not mad if I don't get my limit. It's just how it is. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get as many as I can, but it just doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was unsuccessful.
Exactly. And then we talked about that. Like, what is success, right? But like, just the mojo thing, like, it's like if you care at all about hunting and being successful, you're always watching and trying. That's why duck hunters are weird sometimes, like, right? Like, we're always changing the decoys or moving this or adjusting things if it's not right. And then you're like, okay, I found the right spot for this location. But it's like, just stuff like that, like with the mojo thing. Like last year, I was like, we were talking about that. And I think it was talking about the intermittent. And I'm like, yeah, because the solid's not realistic. Not that you don't or won't kill ducks with that.
Yeah.
It's just you're fine-tuning the craft. You're like trying to...
It's like situational awareness.
Yes.
Right? Because I just said I like to run mine intermittent, but when we're out there at the club and we got the blades, those blades just go.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, I can't obscure them really because we don't have a lot of cover there. So, but if we feel they're being a little weary, I might even just turn them off, but...
Every day is a situational awareness.
It is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But what we got going for us out where we in public is we can obscure it with things, plus the intermittent, I think, makes it look that much better.
And here's something else good to bring up. You're talking about how, like, say us, I mean, it's not just us, anybody that puts themselves out on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, if you don't do it their way, you're going to get hate.
Yeah.
It's just because.
Yeah.
Right? But we've both talked about how we've learned, you know what? to give a little slack in that because just because they don't do it my way, they still kill birds. So there's a million ways
Exactly.
to kill ducks.
Hey, look at the NFL. How many different offenses do they have?
Lots.
32.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that no team's running the same one.
Yeah.
But people win.
People win. They go to Super
because
Bowls.
they're not using the same. But it's actually like believing in this. Are you bought into the system?
Mm-hmm.
I'm bought into what I'm doing. And people that come with me, they buy into what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm bought into the system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of systems out there. And they all work. This is my system.
Yeah.
That's how I say it right there. Because I don't want to get caught up and say, do things the right way.
Yes.
You know, because
and it's hard
I feel
not
like
to, you really got to make sure you got to focus on not doing that because you can catch yourself doing that very easily. Like, man, I don't need to.
And I've kind of pumped the brakes with it. It's like it's the right way for me. I have a certain thing how I grew up this way, shooting with these old timers did it this way, what I consider the right way. But I'm not going to necessarily say that to people that you're not doing it the right way. But I have my right way, and and it works. I'm bought in. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
but you could do multiple different ways. We know it. We're not the only ones shooting ducks on YouTube.
No,
right?
Absolutely not.
You can get ducks.
There's bad dudes a lot. They call better, that hunt better, that shoot better. I mean,
it's location.
But again, like I said, the thing I've learned about it is when you put yourself out there, people automatically think because he's doing this channel, he thinks he's the best hunter out there.
You're speaking the gospel.
Or Elliot or Jordan or any of those guys, right? And it's like, no, you get to know these people in person instead of typing like a warrior behind the keyboard. You're like, Elliot does things different than I do. But when I'm with him, I'm cool with doing it. Dude, we kill birds.
Yeah, you're going to kill birds.
You go with someone else, and I go with Matt from High Prairie Sportsman, and we go hunt with him. He may leave his mojo running in the wide open, and it literally works in Nebraska.
And
so it's like
we're going to talk. That ties into like location, and I say pressure. Remember, I put that little caveat on the end, and pressure. Yeah, everybody's got their different regions and different pressures, so things work there that may not work here.
Yes,
location, and
like
pressure.
I said, that's where I've had to be careful about saying, "Oh, I hate that. I don't do that." Well. Elliot will say swears by mojos, and I got to do certain things with mine to make it really work.
Location pressure, brother.
Yep.
Right there.
There you go.
Because you could be standing out there with your Sitka solids and killing ducks if they want to be there. You can stand right
exactly. And it wasn't Sitka that killed me the ducks,
Sitka solids, not even in camo, and they're still coming in.
I know.
Location.
I'm kind of liking that. Because here's the thing. Here's the coolest solids too. We totally just changed subjects. Yeah. The cool thing with solids is you can wear them anywhere, and you're not sticking out like someone in pajamas. Like, think about it, dude. Like, when you wear Sitka, the marsh, you look like wearing gold bling, dude. Yeah. You look like you don't want to wear those pants just around anywhere. It's
your gradient, comfy waiter pants.
Look so stupid.
Like, look at this
guy. This guy's like, what is that?
Look at these out-of-towners.
Yeah. But, it's funny.
Yeah, Sitka solids, they capture the market there.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Oh, you know what? Well, I guess I think we could wrap this one up. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I don't know if we gave. I mean, there's a lot of good tips that you gave in there and advice, and it wasn't necessarily the location thing was just these things can be good and can make us better with the right location, or they can help you if you're not necessarily in the money spot.
Yeah,
but again. It all really does evolve around that whole location thing.
Yeah,
in all
absolutely.
Reality. I mean, if birds want half a mile away, you can blow your guts out.
Oh,
with your call. It doesn't make a difference, right? I guess that's what we were kind of trying to bring it all into is
a lot of the stuff.
If you are in the right location, you still, you still want to do the right thing.
You do your thing.
You do your thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's not. You don't have to be the best caller, the best decoys to get these birds. You'll get them if you're in the right place. It'll make it easier.
Yep.
Or,
Bottom line.
Yeah.
So guys, check Kevin out if you're cool with it. Check him out on RC_outboards on Instagram if you want to follow him there. So you're not on Facebook, right? I think I've asked you that before.
Not really. I mean, I do. Sorry, little
Sorry,
spasm
dude.
in the back.
Yeah, I feel bad. It's pretty jacked.
Yeah, just
Is
out of
it
nowhere.
spasming?
I really don't have any back issues, and I woke up this morning kind of like, oh, what is this? Uncool. Yeah, it's pretty much the IG RC_outboards.
Okay. Yeah, go follow him there. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of no nonsense. All I do is
Yeah.
post about duck. That's all I really got it for.
yeah.
I'm, 40 in the
Yeah.
40s. I'm not using it to try to
Yeah,
whatever.
no.
It's strictly
No, he's just a
duck
good
and-
guy. I'm just saying, go follow.
yeah,
It's fun
yeah.
to follow somebody
It's
that
strictly
if
duck.
you're into duck hunting. Just
There's a lot of guys that shoot ducks. Really doesn't make me any
No,
different.
yeah.
That's what people are like, oh, you should get this, you should be bigger than what you are. You shoot all these ducks. Well, a lot of people shoot a lot of duck.
Yeah.
And
you're not doing it for any specific
No.
purpose to try to create fame.
just trying to put up there what I do. Right? Like what I grew up doing, I put it to the test out there,
Yeah.
and here's what I do. But anybody can, like 32 different systems in the NFL.
Yeah.
They all win.
Yeah.
They all can win championships. This is what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was good to have you here in person. Too.
Yeah.
We're going to go get some grub. I think go eat some Mexican food. So
It's never too early.
never too. I mean, it's 11:20, son. It's time to eat.
Right.
So, all right, guys, we'll hope you, we're probably going to, maybe if he has time, we might record another one too. So stay tuned. But thanks for joining us today. And we'll see you guys on the next one.